519, Secretary of State John Kerry appears ready to step back from U.S. efforts in the Middle East peace process. Kerry's heading home after a frustrating setback in talks. But the State Department says they're not yet pulling the plug on efforts to broker a deal between Israel and the Palestinians. The administration says the current phase of the peace process not over, but that both sides have taken steps in the past few days characterized as being unhelpful, and the U.S. cannot force them to make the hard choices they need to make to achieve lasting peace.
But at least one Northwest peace activist is still seeing signs of hope in the Middle East. Andrew Larsen is in Portland this weekend for a 2-day conference on peace in the West Bank and Israel. He's traveled to the region 6 times.
I was in the city of Hebron, which is a major Palestinian community, half a dozen Israeli settlements right in that same vicinity, so there's a lot of conflict. But just as you walk with the people, you eat in their restaurants, you see the longing for hope, and then you also hear stories of them living at peace and wanting to live at peace with their neighbors.
Larsen says putting a human face on the situation is what gives him hope for the future.
It's easy to be cynical and to kind of fall into, well, here we go again, another cycle with no resolution. And I think just out of relationships, principally with the people there on the ground, I see their longing for a better situation, and I think my desire is to, in a way, kind of put a megaphone in their hand so that they can tell their stories.
Larsen returns to the West Bank this fall to start work on a documentary he hopes will do just that. He says it's really important to focus on the people and not on the political process.
I think to put a face on the conflict other than just Abbas and Netanyahu speaking, there's actual real people underneath this that the normal day citizens that kind of like Portland people, they're independent, they're autonomous, they have ideas, and they want to coexist with one another in a way that isn't always shaped by their leaders. So sometimes they just want to work and live and raise their families.
Larsen says his personal connections with people who live there is in stark contrast with the way the region is often portrayed in the media.
There are toxic pieces to the conflict, but when you sit down and have falafel and shawarma with some Palestinian people, you feel their hospitality, that human bond, that human connection just is, in my own journey, it nourishes me, but then it also just kind of stirs hope.
Conference this weekend is called Seeds of Hope. It takes place today and tomorrow at First United Methodist Church right here in Portland.